and we're going to be discussing some pros and cons that we've noticed about the Generation 9 game trailers. That's right, guys. Gym Leader Podcast is back. Let's move forward. Let's talk about some gameplay stuff, Generation 9, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. There is two very distinct camps in this argument. There are people who are extraordinarily excited about Violet and Scarlet, and there are some people that are just shitting all over the game trailer like it was not even a Pokemon game. But I guess that's kind of what the Pokemon community does a little bit. But before I give my thoughts on it, what are your thoughts about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the video games?
Yeah, definitely. So the trailer opens up, and the first thing I see is Growlithe and Arcanine.
Oh, so you're like, sold.
Immediately I'm like, all right, sold, exactly. And then I saw everything else, and my mind immediately changed. I think I am in the camp that kind of shit all over the trailer, to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't out there, posting on message boards and stuff like that and commenting on the videos. But, yeah, I definitely had my own thoughts about it.
With the fake profile pictures,
my other account.
Trolling content creators with negativity and, that wasn't you?
Oh, yeah, because that's what I do in my spare time because, that's fun. But yeah, no, I so the biggest thing for me is not how it looks, not the region, not the new Pokemon or anything like that. But what really, really turned me off was the legendaries.
Ooh, really?
They look cool. But I think it is so cheesy that they are your mode of transportation, and it is apparent by their names because they're like
Rhydon is literally in their name.
Rhydon and something Rhydon, something else. So like you're riding on them, right? And as soon as I heard that,
sorry, go ahead.
Whoa, but anyways, yeah.
There's already a Pokemon called Rhydon. I'm just saying.
There is, but as soon as I saw that they turn into motorcycles and they climb up the side of cliffs and they turn into planes and all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that's a thing in other Pokemon games, right? In Legends Arceus, right? You have all your other different Pokemon that fly you around that, you go in the water with or whatever. You have your Rotom bike or whatever that you get on. I don't know if it's still called a Rotom bike or not, but you get on your bike and ride around. Seems normal. These legendaries, I just feel like aren't legendaries. And it kind of seems, I could be wrong on this, but it kind of seems like they're given to you at the beginning of the game, and like that's your
the only way it
makes
sense. Yeah, it's the only way it makes sense.
Right. You're not getting that at the end of the game, and it's exactly. So that was just like a huge turnoff to me. It makes it feel like not like legendaries to me at all. It makes it feel like an object, not a Pokemon, when you're just using it for different forms of transportation.
So do you consider Rotom an object or a Pokemon?
Oh, dang.
Got him.
You got me. It's both. Just right?
Like
because he starts as a Pokemon and doesn't he go into these? I don't know. I don't follow. I'm not a big Rotom fan, but
neither.
It's a good question. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
The Rotom or the Miraidon D's nuts?
The appliance.
The appliance. Yeah, what was first, Rotom or the washing machine?
But yeah, so it's just okay, so that was the big thing for me, was the legendaries.
So and then, is it just an execution thing for you? Because the idea of having your legendary partner be your mode of transportation, I think, is fantastic. I also agree that the execution is poor. I also agree with you to where, why wouldn't you just have allowed the starters to do it? Because that would make absolutely way more sense than your box art legendary, right? Because in traditional Pokemon games, it's always catching your legendary is something that you work up to, and you usually catch it right before the Elite Four. So if you want to be one of those people that uses a legendary Pokemon to become champion, you can. which I'm all for, by the
Exactly.
way, because legendary Pokemon are awesome. So I don't
Yeah.
blame you for using your Palkia and Dialga to become Pokemon champion in BDSP. I
No,
really don't.
no, you caught him.
That's
Use him.
right. So I do think it's strange that they give you the legendary so early. So I do think they're going to have some form of mechanic in the story form where you're not going to be able to use the legendary in battle until
I kind of got that feeling
later in the game. I do think you will eventually be able to use the Koraidon and Moraidon in battle, but it's probably going to be right around the 8th gym, right around when you're trying to become league champion and all that stuff. I think in the beginning, it's just going to be like your partner Pokemon. I think he's going to be your partner, which is why I think it would have been smarter for them to just make the starters do this. But yeah, the one thing that I think is extraordinarily poor execution, though, is just the way it looks. It looks terrible. It looks stupid. Now, take a look at it for a second. And yes, I get the past and the future thing. Awesome. I don't like that you can just like see the wheels on their chest and stuff like that, like at all times.
Thank you.
It looks
Me too.
Stupid. I also don't
agree.
think that they should be like a transformer. I think that is stupid as well. It would have been much better if maybe Miraidon, the red one, just take the fucking wheels away and just have it run. Just have it run. And then have it...
It's showing it like running
with wheels that aren't working.
Exactly. Right.
Like whatever. I'm sure the wheels work. I'm sure it's not. It was catching a lot of shit for that clip. I'm sure the wheels work. I'm sure you'll be able to ride it like a motorcycle. I think that's stupid. I think if you just give it 4 legs, you turn it into a mount, you make it fast, you let it climb up walls, you give it wings, almost like a Pegasus style wings, and then you can ride it and fly it as well. I think it was fantastic execution. And then you can also just change it in the futuristic one with the Koraidon, where you can still make it like a jet engine, and make that one have wheels. Make it a serpent that has wheels, but don't give it legs at all. So now you have a wheeled serpent that has a jet engine so it can fly like a serpent, or maybe have it do like a serpent dragon fly like this animation, and those sort of a thing, as opposed to what we got, which is there's freaking wheels on it. Stupid.
I think that's what it is. After listening to you there, I think it's the wheels. Like,
it's dumb. It's a
how
transformer.
You describe the Pokemon without the wheels, or it that I think would have won me over on the legendaries if they were like that. But yeah, it's the wheels. The wheels are not my forte. Not my cup of tea.
All right, where were you going next? You had another statement you're about to spew.
The other thing, their new battle mechanic, I guess, the
terastallization or something weird.
Yes, terastallization. However you pronounce it, however we're gonna pronounce it, doesn't do nothing for me. It makes it feel extra cheesy to me, and I like. Do I need a big old diamond ring on top of Eevee's head? Probably not. Do I need a big, like, chandelier on the top of another Pokemon's head? Probably not. We don't know how it's
on a chandelier.
I didn't say chandelier.
Chandelier.
It'll be
on
interesting
a chandelier,
to see.
That's sign me
if
up.
we got a chandelier, it'll be interesting to see what its terastallization looks like.
So I agree with you, dude. I think it looks corny as hell. They could have, and again, this is another problem of execution. It's just not executed well. The shiny, crystally Pokemon looks stupid. And again, I'm with you. I don't need a big diamond on top of Eevee's head. I don't need a chandelier on top of Fuecoco's head. I don't need a big leaf sprouting out the top of Sprigatito. I don't. Now, what I do think would have been cool, you still give them this mechanic of being able to add or remove or change a typing. that is a game changer. And
Yeah,
I think that is
cool.
amazing. It's an amazing trait, right? We had Mega Evolutions,
That is cool, yeah.
which boosts everyone's attacks and stuff like that. We had Z form or Z moves, which gave Pokemon, specific moves that they can use. Again, another fantastic thing. Gigantamax, fine. It just makes everyone a little bit stronger for 3 to 4 turns or whatever it is. But it makes them look like giants, which is a pretty cool looking mechanic.
Yeah.
Crystal form looks dumb. They could have easily found a way to have done this this type changing mechanic and make it look cooler. Whether you just add an area of effect to show what their new typing is. Oh, you want to have a flying Pikachu? Just have an area of effect. Make it look like it's flying. Give it something or other. Like, I wouldn't know exactly how to explain it. But, just change the Pokemon themselves somehow. You make a fire type XYZ, make it turn a little bit of orange. Give it some fire around it, something like that. Just that easy. Then to just turn them into a freaking crystal, dude. Just again, ridiculous looking.
Not excited. To me, it makes like shiny Pokemon like
there you go,
so much better.
Oh yeah.
Now that we have these, it's just like and it'll be interesting because that's going to come into the TCG. I can only imagine. I was saying I wonder what they're going to do with them because I know like that's going to become a part of the TCG.
Yeah.
Like I can only imagine that it is. Okay, I was thinking that does make sense, but I was thinking it was going to be maybe more like the Radiant Pokemon or like Amazing Rares or something like that was where it was in like the reverse rare slot.
I don't think so because I think they're going to give us the Terra type Pokemon throughout the entire generation because this is the generation mechanic. So this is the V max of the generation. So it's not going to be the short term one. It's not going to be the short term.
I was hoping it was. I
don't think so. Buddy.
I don't like what's coming out of your mouth right now, telling me that's going to be throughout the whole thing. Because I guess I'll have to get used to it.
But we are going to talk about that next week. We're going to have our primary topic for the podcast is going to be us talking about what we expect the TCG to be with Generation 9. Now that we have some specific information about the generation itself and the games. So that'll be fun. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell if you haven't yet, because it's going to be a really cool conversation. I have a lot of ideas that I think they might do, but more so that I would love to see. There's a lot of ideas that I would love to see for them to do that I think they can do. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But that's next week. But yeah, the video games themselves, I do think... Now that I've got a couple of negatives out of the way, let's talk about some positives for the game because I do think the game is going to be very, very good. It's going to be awesome. It's the very first open world RPG. It specifically states at the very beginning of the trailer that this is Pokemon's very first open world RPG, which means you will be able to go to anywhere on the map that you want from the beginning. There probably is going to be an end game section that might be locked off, but that's completely fine. You got to make sure you're good at the game before they throw you into the deep end. I get that. But the basics of the game, the first 8 gyms can be attacked in any my brain. Any order that you want. And you can go anywhere on the map in its main, basically wild area that you want to go, any of the cities, all that stuff, and it's going to be fantastic. They actually basically said there's going to be like 3 different story modes. One where you take on the gyms and become the leader, and they didn't really break down the other 2, so I'm interested to know what these other storylines could be. I'm guessing one of the storylines might be about the legendaries. It might be a full storyline about you finding the legendary, utilizing the legendary, becoming best partners with it, and then being able to use it in battle where they came from. The past and the future is going to be that story because supposedly Violet is the future, Scarlet is the past games. So I do think one of the story arcs is going to be about past and future and about the legendary Pokemon as well. But whatever the
Yeah.
third story is, I have absolutely no clue, no idea
Yeah.
what it could be, unless it's an entire story arc based around the Terra Pokemon, which could be the third story as well. So I'm excited
Yeah,
for it. I do think it's
I was-
going to be phenomenal. What you got? What do you
I was gonna
freaking
s-
got, man?
I was gonna say one point about the what that third one could be, because like throughout the whole, and just stop me if I'm wrong and you know what this is,
You're
but
wrong.
throughout the whole commercial of it, they kept talking about like this treasure hunt, finding this treasure,
Oh yes,
and all
that's
that.
true. That's true. From the school, because you go to this school. That
Exactly.
could be one of the stories. This treasure hunt with the stories. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe that's where like the ter- I don't even know what word it is.
Terrestrialization,
Terrestrialized Pokemon. Maybe that's what that is all about. I don't know, but
Extraterrestrial.
it's kind of what it seems like when they turn into that form.
It is weird.
But yeah, I think it's going to be super cool that it's like its first open world game. I know, like, I gotta be real. Like, I didn't play Sword and Shield. I didn't play Arceus. I know
Loser.
that those games were getting towards that, really open world feel. But I think it's awesome, and I think it's the right step. Step in the right direction.
Yeah.
For them. And what I think is also cool, and you're probably going to talk about here as well, is like the multiplayer that you get to do
It's
in
gonna
the
be
open
so good.
world. So that I think is going to be really, really cool. Tell me, could you do that at all in Sword and Shield or in Arceus?
No,
Is that even a thing?
the only thing you could do is like max raid dungeons and stuff.
Okay, 'cause I knew you could do something.
Yeah,
there
there
as
was
a party.
multiplayer aspects of it, but not like this. This
Cool.
they can literally this gives even more incentivization for you to buy the double pack, and have a second Switch, because like
Yeah.
Brady's got the Switch Lite and I play on the regular Switch, and we'll be able to literally experience the game together, play together, do the
Yeah, that's
stories
so cool.
together, and that is really, really cool. It's not just, hey, we linked up with a cable and we're doing some trades, or we linked up on a Wi-Fi and we're doing a max raid battle
Yeah.
together. Like, that's
I was going to say,
cool,
do
but-
people still use the link cable to do trades? I figured it
No.
was over Wi-Fi
No, I was just-
nowadays.
I was showing my age. there, okay?
Get out my green Game Boy Color and put my link cable in for you. real quick.
don't, can you trade me your Lugia for my Ho-Oh, So,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I promise I won't keep it. I'll trade it back. I
I'll
swear.
trade it back. Oh man,
Yeah, trade me that Kadabra so I can turn it into an Alakazam. I promise I'll trade it right back. Said nobody ever.
right?
Jerks.
Oh, sorry, Mom's calling me. I gotta go.
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting booted off. My internet's going to go down because my phone is ringing.
The good
I
old
don't
days.
I don't know where that voice is coming from. I don't even know what that is.
It was good. It worked.
Like
It
Pee Wee
worked
Herman.
for the situation.
But
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm excited. The multiplayer is going to be awesome. The open world is going to be awesome. I really am excited that I'll be able to sit there with my son and just play for a couple of hours, just roaming around this open world, defeating gyms together, shiny
That'll be
hunting
so
together.
cool.
It's going to be pretty decent for sure. Yeah, really, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a great game. I think a lot of the decisions for design are bad. And it's just execution, all in all, we're not very good. But we also have to remember that these are Japanese games. This American market is secondary for them.
True.
So sometimes, when you find like these really quirky things that seem weird and out of place and not very cool to us, it may be extraordinarily awesome to a Japanese
very true.
audience. So I try to look
Very
at
true.
it from that side of it as well, because the culture is completely different, for
Yeah.
decisions to be made in terms of design and story and stuff like that. So make sure you're remembering that when you think about the games and you're like, wow, makes no sense. Okay, maybe not for a Western audience, but for an Eastern
True.
audience, it might be perfect. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's it. That's about all we got for the podcast today. First time back. It took us a little bit to get warmed up. We had some technical difficulties,
Went off the rails a couple times.
ASX
but,
was shrinking and then enlarging multiple times. I have that effect on him, I guess. But yeah, no, audio, hopefully it sounds okay. I mean, again, in a big vaulted ceiling room. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it was fun. Took me a little bit to get my feet under me, to get chit chatty a little bit, out of the game.